Welcome back to the MMA Plug, presented to you by the Talk of Colorado on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio. I'm your host, Jordan Kurtz. You can follow me along online at Comments from the Peanut Gallery. I'm sitting here alongside UFC middleweight Josh Fremd. Follow him at Josh Fremd MMA. If you're following us along online, make sure that you smash that subscribe button so we can keep on bringing you this content each and every single week. We're going to dive into the UFC Vegas 53 preview. Josh, can you believe that it's already 53 house shows there in the Apex for the UFC already?
That number just keeps climbing up.
If you think about it overall, like that's 100. That's probably between 500 and 1,000 shows now that the UFC's put on. Obviously, we have 274 coming up in terms of the numbered events, but there was a few early on events that didn't have numbers to them. You pair that along with tough finales, along with fight nights, and now all of these Apex shows.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot, man.
Hey, the people aren't complaining. I know I'm not, because I love being able to know every week, like, all right, I'm going to see some fights. I'm going to see some people that I, as a hardcore fan and even part of it, like, I just love watching fighting. So, hey, it gets the people going, and we get to see these smaller shows build up people, and that's how we got to know Rob Font and Chito.
Right.
And they show the guys just coming up.
Certainly. And which brings us to, that's an incredible segue and transition right there, my man.
Guys, I'm getting better at this radio thing. Let's get it.
The main event this weekend is a matchup between a couple of top bantamweights in Marlon Chito Vera, who's taken on Rob Font. Now, Josh, Rob is the more fluid boxer overall, but in terms of the more complete striker, I think that you have to give Chito the nod for that, especially when you factor in the way that he is able to bring forth the leg kick game.
Yeah, and that's going to be on Font to try and, because this is a stereotypical. I'm not going to say Font's just a boxer, because we have seen him throw kicks, but his best tool is his boxing.
Right.
And going in right now, looking at it, it is a boxer versus a kickboxer, basically. So we're going to have to see how Rob Font deals with Chito playing with that front leg, because obviously you want to attack the front leg to get a boxer off his game.
Certainly. But the way that Chito is able to, do just some crazy things with his creativity, I feel like he's slowly just more and more, and Chito's been a guy who's kind of taken the long path up this way. He's had a couple of runs where, at one point he was on like a 7 or 8 fight win streak, and then there was the controversial controversial decision with Song Yadong, and then he's gone on another little run along the way. And I think that really and truly one of the only guys that's given him a ton of problems was Aldo, and that's another guy who's going to meet that same energy with the striking game.
Yeah.
But I think that a tale of this fight, Josh, really and truly, it could be confidence. Because in that last fight with, again, Jose Aldo, Rob Font, there was times where he almost had a deer in the headlights type of look, if you will. And maybe that's just because you're staring across at a legend and a guy like Jose Aldo. Maybe it's that, oh man, like now that you're really at that top of the food chain level within the division, hey man, every fight is going to be hard now. Everybody is a killer. Every single person that from this day forward, while you have a single digit next to your name, and especially above that top 5, is going to be a tough fight every single night.
Every single time. And that is just the way it goes. The better you get, the better your opponents get. And, that is a huge part of every fight is confidence. Like, you can have that fear in you, and that's okay, but it's how you use the fear, how you kind of mask it. You can't let it be known that you're scared. Everyone knows that they're scared, but you just can't show it. And that deer in the headlights look is not something you want to show against Chito.
No, because a guy like Chito, he is ultra confident, and he's confident probably in some matchups and some scenarios where he probably shouldn't be, but that's what also has allowed him to grow and become so great. You know what I mean? Because he hasn't really allowed for that moment to best him. He
Yeah.
hasn't allowed for, okay, well, yeah, I'm fighting a guy who has all the hype in the world, like a Sugar Sean O'Malley, and all the bright lights are on, all the pressure is on. This dude is highlight reel and everybody. I'm not going to let that get to me. I'm not going to succumb to the pressure. I'm not going to do anything along those lines that is going to compromise or jeopardize the integrity of my game plan and ability to go out there and enforce my will upon this man.
Yeah.
And if we know anything about Chito, I mean, Chito is a born fighter. This man has fought his way all the way to the States, coming from South America. You know, I don't know. He has that, like Joey Diaz says, he's got the immigrant mentality. You have a guy like Rob Font who he got into fighting later on in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he's a tremendous athlete who just happens to be a really, really good fighter.
Coming from New Hampshire, if I'm correct, Boston area.
That's where he's fighting out of now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, like I say, that's just someone who I don't know. If we start talking again, once you get to that top of the food chain and a guy who's been scrapping down to the bone ever since he was a kid, most of these guys who end up at that apex of their divisions have something that they can rely on, that they go back to, that started in their very early years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we're at that crossroads right now for Rob Font or not. I think that if he can come out there and stick the jab and put something in Chito's face all night, that might be a problem. And all of these words might be for naught. That being said, Josh, who do you take?
Well, man, I was pretty confident, and the way that the books are looking right now, they're kind of leaning with me. But after all of that little speech you did over there for Chito, I'm kind of like, I don't know. You made some valid points now, and it has me guessing, because we have Chito's at a plus 120 right now, and they don't really think that it's going to go the distance. So, let's see, toss up. I saw such a good fight, and it's such a good fight. I'm going to go with Chito on this one. Like, I got to go with the born scrapper.
I swayed him. I moved him. I made it happen. But obviously, in that regard, yes, I'm going with Chito as well. You know, I think that, though, this is a pick 'em, ladies and gentlemen. I'm bearish on this pick because Rob Font, if he is able to come out there and be the confident Rob Font that got him to that Aldo fight, it could be a very different night. So I'm not completely in love with it, but you also, on the flip side, a guy like Chito, who's coming in off of that Frankie Edgar finish, he is confidence on level 1,000 right now. So I think that has to be a factor, just like I say. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That helps us continue to produce this original MMA content and bring it for you every single week. Tune in to the MMA Plug presented by DenverSportsBetting.com on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m.
or live stream at DenverSportsBetting.com/radio.